Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Gallina, and I will be your MC today. But judging from this podium and the speaker in front of me, some of you are going to say, is that a misplaced middle schooler on picture day, and he went to the tent instead of going to school for the photo? Nope, it's me. This is all 5'6" of me, and I will stand up. This is what you get. We got it handled. Somebody's back there thinking, I'll bet that guy rode Rich Strike in the Kentucky Derby, and he just showed up here to give us the lead today. It's perfect. Nope, this is what you get, the old school guy and Vice President of Organizational Development and Community Engagement for AltCare. And we could not be more pleased that you're with us today. So here's a little bit of how it'll roll this morning. In a moment, we're going to have the presentation of the colors. We'll stand for that, and then I'll lead the Pledge of Allegiance. We will then sit back down and do an opening prayer. So that helps you manage the stand up, sit down, pause part of the moment. Then you'll be good the rest of the morning. So at this point, would you rise as we have the colors presented by the Massillon American Legion Post 221.
Present arms.
Will you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Forward, arm. Right, face. Forward, arm.
Thank you. You may be seated. And what a great opportunity that we have to honor our country with freedoms like no other and to be able to do entrepreneurial things like we have done since the inception of Aultman Hospital over 130 years ago. So that solemnity is really cool. And now we get a chance to add on to that with the blessing that this is today. And we're going to have an opening prayer by Pastor Gary Martin, founding pastor of True Light Christian Ministries and a member of the Aultman Foundation Board of Directors. So Gary, podium is yours.
Well, team, we just scored a touchdown. When we were here on this field a few months ago, it was wet, it was cold, some may have even been in the mud. But because of the people in the trenches, the Timken family, the Aultman Foundation, the city of Canton, and all of the donors, they got us over the goal line. And so we've scored today. But this is not the end of it. The game still goes on. We got to keep our eyes on the prize, because it's not just enough to build this thing and to manage cancer. We want to defeat cancer. We want to make it a thing of the past. That's a good time to celebrate. And so let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this great time, this festive occasion, when we can celebrate this building and all of the things that will go in this facility. God, we pray that you would bless the doctors, the administration, the staff that will give care. And ultimately, God, we ask that you would give somebody the wisdom and understanding to bring a cure to cancer. And we're going to thank you in advance because we know that the work will go on. Donors will continue to give. Staff will do their job. And we're thankful that you use us on your team. So God, thank you. We ask your blessings on the rest of this service. In the blessed name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Go team.
Gary, I'm glad you were able to allow folks to cheer. A lot of folks don't know whether to cheer for a prayer. It's a good prayer to cheer for. And what we cheered for and prayed for, Mother Nature delivered on today, too. My goodness, you talked about the earlier event. This is 180 degrees different, Gary, so thanks for your pipeline to God. We appreciate you. When we think about what we just saw with the colors and then the chance to bless this, it's a soulful spot as well as a courageous spot. And both those words go together. The soulful spot of prayer and spirit and the courageous spot of what this country was built upon. So the resolve has allowed us to continue to march forward and attack whatever is in front of us. And back in the day, gosh, in 1890, think about, in that moment in time, Elizabeth Harder, the daughter of Cornelius Aultman, and her stepmom, Catherine, deeded land in 1891 to the Aultman Hospital Association. So picture this history lesson going on. So, you know, Cornelius Aultman gets all the credit, but don't all we guys know that it's usually great women behind us that get the job done? And that has happened throughout, and it started at that moment. So we can give those ladies a great round of applause. Yeah, there was a foundation back in that day, and the coolest part about that was they moved it right into position, and over 130 years ago, Aultman Hospital opened its doors. It was January 17, 1892. That journey moves to this spot today through courage, through resolve, through spiritual blessing, and most importantly, good energy in labor. And we think about Labor Day that we just came through. The genius of planning has to connect to labor and resolve. And so it bumps into a really cool week for us in that way as well. Well, someone who's really cool, who I've had a chance to know, gosh, since our kids were in high school, is Mr. Rick Haines. And he's going to give us an opening moment. The Kent State Golden Flash, everybody would know him as the founder and leader of AultCare since its inception. But Rick moved into a new position a little over a year ago to be now the CEO of the Aultman Health Foundation. So will you join me in welcoming my friend and great leader, Rick Haines, to give us some opening remarks.
Okay, well, thank you, Mike. Thank you to the Massillon VFW Color Guard, and thank you to Pastor Gary Martin. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here today. This is an emotional day for us in many ways. As Mike said, Aultman's been here for over 130 years, and today marks just another milestone in that significant legacy. I want to take just a moment and shout out all 7,000, yes, I said that right, all 7,000 of our great Aultman employees and colleagues. Nearly 500 volunteers, and more than 1,000 providers in our medical staff. And of course today, special appreciation for our cancer doctors, nurses, and staff. I am sure everyone here today at some time has been stung by the cancer diagnosis, either for yourself, for a family member, or for a friend. And that's why today is such a special event, at least to me, because it represents the local fight against cancer, and we're very, very proud of what we're doing here. Today, as you might imagine, is the culmination of many, many years of work and planning. Many people have helped us get here today. Special appreciation, first of all, to our patients, to our care team members, to our generous donors, our campaign cabinet, our board of directors, executive leadership team, including Ed Roth, who's with us today, our contractors, our city leadership. You'll hear more from Mayor Bernabei in a few moments, our volunteers, and of course, our one-of-a-kind Aultman Women's Board. I'd like to take just a special moment to give special recognition to Bob Timken and the Timken Foundation, for whom our new cancer center is named. The Timken family's generosity and support date all the way back to Aultman's earliest records. In addition to Bob, I'd also like to thank other members of the Timken family with us today, including Bob's wife, Sarah, Jack and Joy Timken, Ambassador Tim Timken and Sue, Tim and Jane Timken, and Mark Scheffler, Executive Director of the Timken Foundation. Our whole community is better off for your wonderful contributions. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Rick. And you can tell the seed is planted for the recognition journey that we're going to be on. It takes a foundation and a family. It's going to move its way to care providers, and certainly it's going to be connecting to care recipients. And so the journey that Rick kicked us off will now follow a projected plan for us to hear from each of those components and allow us to seed that soulful, courageous energy even more so. I like to use this phrase, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And you think the Aultman leadership, the Timken family, our courageous medical group, and then families and friends, we are what we repeatedly do. But someone has to kick that off in this Cancer Center project, and that project vision had to be carried on repeatedly by Tina Biasella. And so I'm going to introduce Tina, and she's going to give you a summary of the vision of the project, and then we'll move into project reflections. So let's a little background about Tina before she comes up. Graduate of the Aultman College of Nursing. How cool is that along the journey? Her bachelor's degree from Malone University and a master's degree from the University of Akron. She joined Aultman in 1999 as a staff nurse in the medical intensive care unit. 2012, Tina took over the executive leadership responsibility for the cancer program. In her current role as Vice President of Cancer Services, Tina focuses on cancer service and programming across the entire delivery system. So Tina, we're excited to hear from you, but most importantly, we applaud you and your work. So will you join me in welcoming Tina to the podium?
Thank you, Mike, and thank you everyone for being here today. I'm very grateful to be here to celebrate the culmination of this long journey we've taken to make the Timken Family Cancer Center a reality, and also to celebrate the beginning of a new journey for our patients and our care teams who will soon be changing lives in this very building. For many, cancer treatment is an involved and complex process that requires frequent appointments and visits. The convenience of having all of the resources they need in one location, close to home, relieves a huge burden for patients who might otherwise have to travel to frequently greater distances. Having that care take place under one roof makes everything more convenient for the patient, including access to treatment areas, wayfinding, and the treatment itself. We've carefully incorporated the feedback and suggestions from a wide variety of people in the design of this new facility. We sought out opinions on things like the building's exterior, interior design, garden areas, parking, and even the smaller touches like colors, furniture, and artwork. Patients and their caregivers, doctors, nurses, donors, and leaders provided this input and was kept at the forefront of every aspect of design for the Timken Family Cancer Center. The goal was to create an uplifting, warm, comforting environment, all complemented by plenty of natural light. When you take your tours today, I think you will find that we have exceeded these goals. The team's main focus was fostering a design that would improve and enhance the patient experience and their ease of access. We're proud to say that all of this helped to create a cancer center that was built and informed by the patient, a truly patient-centered model of care. There were many, many people involved in this process, too many people to name here today, and I want to thank you all. Without you, we would not be here celebrating this very special occasion. Thank you.
Tina, I love the phrase patient informed, and you saw those tears moving into play. We use tears as an exclamation point. When you believe in something so strongly, sometimes we will use tears and want to explain them away. No, they need to rise and show up because they're the exclamation point. Tina, it's an exclamation point. Thank you. Another round of applause for your vision and work. So when we think about vision, that's where we're going. Well, someone has to connect mission and purpose to that as well. And so the reach was, who do we talk to in our community to get around this particular opportunity? And the Timken Family Foundation was a natural connection because of their long history of support to so much, not only in our community, but worldwide. And so when we move now into the area that we'll call Project Reflections, we're going to hear from Bob Timken, who will talk a little bit more about the foundation connection and the family's resolve to get involved. A little bit about Bob. He's the president of the Timken Foundation. He's been that since 2021. He's got a long history, though, of serving our community, a couple of which would be Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival, Arts in Stark, and even with downtown land banking. So the foundation has been integral. As a former educator, I remember the work that we did through our school systems as well. Jack, thank you very much. They're just always there. So what a great leadoff to get into what we will call reflection. So Bob, will you join us here at the podium?
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Tina. I think you kind of just connected the emotional part of this day for me, so I appreciate that. You also mentioned Cornelius Aultman. I have a soft spot for Cornelius, having become the custodian of his manufacturing complex some years ago, a few miles from here, and looking out at the medical staff. I like to think that we sort of brought Hercules back to life. I can't wait to see you do the same in this building. I'm here today representing not only the trustees of the Timken Foundation and members of my family, I'm also here as a member of the local philanthropic community. We're proud that this innovative and forward-looking facility bears our name because it is the manifestation of the community's commitment to dream, to explore, to innovate, to collaborate, all with the goal of improving the lives of Stark County residents. That has been at the heart of the mission of the Timken Foundation since its creation in 1934, a mission that has been translated across the globe, but remains rooted here in Canton in Stark County. We're fortunate to be part of a philanthropic community locally that focuses on meeting challenges and achieving meaningful results. Again, this building is a manifestation of that focused leadership. Through the efforts of the Women's Board, the Capital Campaigns Committee, with the guidance of the Stark Community Foundation, local foundations, and individual fundraisers and donors, the community continues to be well served. In October of last year, we were on site to sign the beam that spans the columns of the entrance to the building, and we began to see the vision of the Aultman team, an environment built to promote healing with the patient at its center. We also wondered that day about the construction challenges that lay ahead in the midst of economic disruption and uncertainty. The construction crew on site seemed undaunted, and we left the site with little doubt that the project was in good hands. And so, today, I'm happy to offer my congratulations to Rick, Tony, Tina, Dr. Shilad, Steve and Lisa Gregory, the development and construction teams, and most of all, the residents of Stark County. Today, to the dream of delivering cancer care to patients in a new way, centered on the patient, begins in your county. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. It was neat how quickly Bob jumped to the many entities that got in behind this project, but someone had to be the rudder. Someone had to steer that, Bob. So thank you and your family for saying, we'll take that on. When you first started talking about Cornelius, I thought you were going to say you had a meeting with him. And I was going to say, what? You're special. I want to check in on that. But he moved right on. Thank goodness. For a moment there, I thought, this is getting bigger than I even realized. Thank you, Bob, very much. Now we're going to move from foundation into care delivery and the system itself when it moves into this building and how it be delivered. And we have Dr. Sabrina Shilad with us today from the Aultman Medical Group. She received her medical degree from East Tennessee State, as well as her general surgery training there as well. She's the only fellowship-trained breast surgeon in the Stark County area, receiving her training at the Cleveland Clinic. Dr. Shilad offers several unique oncoplastic breast surgery techniques, and we're blessed to have her as part of our family. So you would join me in welcoming Dr. Sabrina Shilad to the podium. I know you don't need help, but I'm still going to give it to you.
Thank you. I'm grateful and honored to be here for this special occasion today and share about Aultman's cancer program. The Aultman Cancer Program has been accredited by the American College of Surgeons Commission on Cancer since 1986 and received the organization's prestigious Commendation of Excellence Award several years in a row. The current Cancer Center location opened in Aultman Hospital's East Wing back in 1996. At that time, the oncology specialty was expanding with more outpatient treatments as opposed to the traditional inpatient therapies. As our cancer program continued to grow over the past quarter of a century, a new facility for cancer care was needed in the community. The new Timken Family Cancer Center will allow cancer services to move from the cancer program spread all across the Aultman campus to a consolidated, comprehensive center in one easy-to-navigate location. This will improve and enhance the patient experience as well as increase efficiencies. Navigating cancer care will become significantly easier for patients as well as their caregivers. Our patients will also have access to cancer specialists all under one roof. This will allow my colleagues and me to more effectively collaborate and coordinate our multidisciplinary approach to cancer care. The new Cancer Center will also increase awareness and bring attention to our program. Every cancer center is a prominent institution in the community that it serves, and now Aultman will have that same increased visibility as well. I'd like to commend and express my sincere, heartfelt gratitude and thanks to the incredible generosity of our donors, the community, and Aultman for making this possible for our patients. Thank you.
Just love the emotion that starts to capture, because when it's got resolve and it's got soul and it's got care wrapped around it, what you heard Dr. Shilad share about was it was so hard and challenging because they knew what that goal line could look like, but having all of it in one place. Can we do it? So it was a puzzling experience, but through your feedback, got it to a spot, and now it becomes great for the patient and great for future physicians and oncologists to find us as well. So thank you, Dr. Shilad. Another round of applause for the work that she's going to be doing. Super. And it would not be correct if we didn't have a cancer patient spend time with us and talk about the experience itself. And to do that is Dr. Jane Biehl, PhD. Jane's an Aultman Cancer Center patient and member of the Cancer Patient Advisory Committee. 12-year survivor of a very rare form of blood cancer. She's enjoyed careers as a librarian, counselor, teacher, and writer. And writing is what she does a lot of in these current times. A particular note, though, are her writings about surviving cancer, overcoming hearing loss, and the wonderful benefits of having a hearing ear service dog. So what a combination of needs that have been met and continue to be nurtured. Jane, we're excited to have you up here. Dr. Jane.
All of us who have worked or been to the cancer center, the old cancer center would call it cramped, stumbling over each other, and sometimes inefficient. Maybe a politically correct term would be cozy. How exciting it has been to be a part of the Patient Advisory Council. We started meeting years ago when it was not even certain where we were going to be located. There were talks about Aultman North and different places. And over the years, a whole lot of planning took place even before the construction. I told Dr. Khan recently I had waited for this for 12 years, and he said, "Hey, I've waited for 20. I have to give so many kudos to Aultman. I have been coming here for treatment for 12 years now. I worked for the state previously in several bureaucracies. When I was told that I was asked to be on the Patient Advisory Council, I wasn't very trusting because I had been to these task forces and meetings where it was a token and nothing was done. But boy, that was not the case here. Tina Biasella, Julie Luce, the architect that met with us, wrote down our ideas and truly cared about the patient's perspective. As a result, the beautiful Cancer Center and patient-friendly center has been created. Because of my rare cancer, I have been to Columbus, University, and Cleveland Clinic. These buildings they're nice and new, but they're sterile and some of the artwork is ugly. The careful installation of pictures is much more important than I realized. We would say, that picture is jarring. The colors aren't peaceful. And Tina and Julie would pick out some ideas and then follow through. When I toured yesterday, they let me do something special because I was speaking. I came out in tears because I saw how important and how they had followed our suggestions. We also talked about private rooms, light, space, windows, captioning available for all the televisions, and for me, there had to be a coffee shop. Parking will be a dream come true. But these are the physical aspects. I have to mention the fantastic staff here. I have been coming once a month and for several years, once a week, including all through COVID. The dedication of the staff overwhelmed me. When the halls were silent, everything was closed. I would be the only one in the hallways. It was creepy, to say the least. But when I would get up to the infusion floor, I would see the nurses in tears because many of their patients, justifiably, were afraid to come for treatments, and they knew that they had a chance of dying as a result of not getting the treatments. I had a service dog for 14 years. She died in January at the age of 17. But she would be upset seeing me going through some of the treatments, particularly rough shots in the stomach. The staff would take her away, distract her, and give her treats because they knew she was worried about me. I call the oncology nurses angels on earth. I cannot say enough about the members of PAC, and I have to talk about Maxine Middleton. Her compassion, her caring, and her inspiration were incredible. She passed away last fall after a 15-plus year battle with metastatic breast cancer. We watched her getting sicker and weaker, but she still came to the meetings and encouraged every one of us. She was a model for caring about people. We wish that she could have lived to see the new center, but we know she's here in spirit, and a tribute to her is put in a time capsule. Everyone on this committee has been fantastic. Special mention also goes to Stephen and Susan Spearing, who have shared their home and their fire pit with us. And we meet sometimes not to talk about cancer, but just to socialize. All of the staff, from the valet to the medical assistants, to the nurses, to the wonderful doctors who work so hard, has been a part of this journey. And no one knows the hours Julie and Tina have put into this project, except maybe their families. Finally, I must thank the donors. Without all of you, this never would have happened. Timken Cancer Center, the Women's Board, giving the money from the angel auctions, all the other donors, and I can't name them all, large and small. Even the people who sent in $25, $30, every one of the donors has been special. The spirit of the staff, the donors, and patients will be in this building forever. Thank you.
Jane, I loved your words, cozy, when she was describing that wrap. And then she got right into that whole idea about being involved and having the life of it take a life of its own. But more importantly, it was your feedback that moved from cozy to living and all the care and the support that surrounded you. So we're glad we can move past cozy and that feedback that you gave was terrific to the end product. Thank you very much. Let's give another round of applause to our reflection speakers. It's just powerful when you take it from a foundation to the care delivery to the recipient, and you see this really take fruition and become three-dimensional. It makes me think about reflecting on excellence. Aultman has always been synonymous with that. And let's reflect on this before we get into the final leg of our journey. There's a great phrase around excellence. It says, excellence can be achieved if you care more than others think is wise, risk more than others think is safe, dream more than others think is practical, and expect more than others think is possible. And when you think about that, that wraps around this project. Caring more than others think was wise. Certainly risking more than others think was safe. Nice butterfly letting us know that the angels are with us. Yesterday we had a mantis show up. It was beautiful. We knew it was going to be great, so it just doubles down on spirituality today. And then certainly dreaming more than others think is practical and expecting more than others think is possible. When we just let that wash over us, we are sitting in front of excellence, designed that way. And so a special community presentation now moves into our agenda, and Mayor Tom Bernabei will be up here in a moment. Canton Lehman, Brown University, and Ohio State University College of Law graduate, bravely served our country in the U.S. Army, including a tour of duty in Vietnam, and he was elected mayor in 2015 and is currently serving his second term as mayor. And I guess he's not a bad baseball player either. And I have to share a funny story. He and I spoke to Kansas City Schools staff last week at Munson Stadium. And part of his talk, he jumped up and hit wiffle balls into the stands. I think he hit 5 singles, struck out once, maybe had a double down the line. But I was impressed with his resolve. So I know you're going to be impressed with his resolve as he shares a community celebration with all of us here today. Let's welcome Mayor Bernabei to the podium. You need to...
I don't know that I got that many baseballs into the stands. And Mike, by the way, you would have been happy to see him because he had on his little baseball cap and little baseball bat.
Everything little.
But thank you so very, very much. It is truly my honor to be here, and thank you for inviting me. I cannot even begin to share with you how much this beautiful facility will mean to the city of Canton and to the Stark County community as a whole. And I am so very, very pleased on the behalf of the city of Canton that the Aultman Health Foundation chose to build it here at 2600 6th Street Southwest. Thank you so very, very much. For many years, we have dreamed of this project. All of you who have worked on it have dreamed of this project. Plans were made, funds raised, and construction began. And as has been discussed, construction began even in the midst of a health pandemic, as well as incredible supply chain challenges. And despite all, today it is a reality. The Timken Family Cancer Center a 58,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility that combines Aultman's cancer specialties in one location with the newest technologies and treatments. Equally as important, it was planned and provides the best of comfort and ease of access for cancer patients and caregivers. Congratulations to all who dreamed and planned and built it. The project is also testimony to the strength, heart, and generosity of our community. This is a $28 million project with lead funding from the Timken Foundation. Thank you so very, very much. And large gifts and contributions from the Aultman Health Foundation and from the Aultman Women's Board, and millions of dollars in additional gifts from our local foundations, our businesses, and our individuals, over 1,100 in all. The City of Canton is also proud to have played an early role in this with the location and construction of public utilities for the project. Again, to our donors, thank you, thank you, thank you. Without vision, without dreaming, without the planning, without the funding, and without the building, this project cannot and would not happen. All of you are Aultman's angels. All of you have made this dream come true. On behalf of the generations of cancer patients to come, who will come here and seek and receive the highest care, the best treatment, and most importantly, love from the incredible volunteers and professional staff, I thank you on their behalf. It is also my honor today to present to Mr. Rick Haines, President and CEO of the Aultman Health Foundation, a mayor's proclamation honoring the Aultman Health Foundation and all of you for this extraordinary project. Again, on behalf of the City of Canton, on behalf of the community at large, thank you so very, very much. Rick?
Thank you, Mayor Bernabei. And of particular note was that connection of the public-private combination. And when you think about the structure, if you will, to get this started, it took that partnership with the city. So we appreciate that, Mayor Bernabei, very much. At this point, we're going to ask those that will be in the ribbon-cutting lineup to please make their way to the ribbon itself. So if you are in that lineup, I know you know, and they'll be lining you up in your particular position. And while we have them get settled, we're going to recognize some groups that are still under the tent. Thank you. What we'd like to do is recognize some groups that are in the room, and while the group is lining up out front, we'll make sure we give proper recognition to several groups that remain under the tent. So when you hear your group name, simply stand and face the largest area of the room that you can, and we're going to give a round of applause after each group. So members of the Timken family, would you please stand and take a quick view over the room, and we'll give them a round of applause. Thank you, and you certainly have heard the great foundational work that's been woven through today's event. We have elected officials from the City of Canton with us, so I'm going to share your name. You just stand up, and when we're all introduced, we'll give them a round of applause at the end of that. So certainly, Mayor Bernabei, who I believe has moved his way where he should, Councilmember Babcock, Scaglione, Ferguson, Smuckler, Kimbrough, Hall, Fisher, Smith, and Council President Biehl Shearer. Give them a round of applause. Thank you all very much. We don't want to leave out City Health Director Jim Adams. Where's Jim? He's got his bow tie. He looks like E. Gordon Gee back there beside me. Jim, thank you for helping the schools as well as this foundation manage those tough couple of years. Appreciate you. The Board of Directors. So if you're a member of any of these boards, simply stand. Aultman Health Foundation. If you're a board member, please stand. The Aultman Healthcare Delivery System. The Aultman Foundation. And my teammates at AultCare. Let's give this group of board members a round of applause. Super. Stacy Dulick, would you stand, please? President of the Women's Board, and any other Women's Board members that are with you today, please stand as well. What a great gift you started and helped us get moving forward with, for sure. Cancer Center campaign cabinet members are with us. Frank and Judy Provo, honorary chairs. Brian and Joanna Belden. Joe and Kathleen Schauer. Ryan and Evram Fulmer. And George Lemon. If you are here, would you please stand? Thank you all very much. And then some special thanks that allowed us to make today's event really get off the ground. Canton Chair, Enviroscapes, Todd and Anna, where are you? Please stand. Todd and Anna Pugh. Thank you. Stay standing. Good. Yep. Anna left you. Greg Kuhn from GC Productions. Greg, give us a wave from the back there. He's taking care of our sound today. Thank you, Greg. Joe Smithberger Photography, and you see them getting all lined up to make sure the sunshine is right for that photo that'll last forever. And Shade Productions, they're helping us with our video. So a round of applause to all of our groups. So now at this point, as the group's lining up and getting ready, I'm going to introduce the batting order for our ribbon cutting ceremony. So we got a heck of a team lined up out there. And group, as you hear your name, I want you to just give a little wave. So I'm going to pause enough so that you can hear me and that we can recognize you. So we have, and in your programs, you'll see the group that they're affiliated with. I'm simply going to share their name so that we can keep the pace moving for you all. So John Kirkpatrick, John, give a wave. We'll applaud at the end. Ann Gunther, Karen Dunlap, Steve Spearing, Dr. Serena Singh, Steve Gregory, Lisa Warburton Gregory, Bob Timken, Barb Bennett, who will actually do the ribbon cutting, so she has an extra chore and responsibility. No pressure, Barb. Rick Haines, Dr. Sunitha Vemulapalli, Roger Durr, assisted with Randy Durr, Mayor Tom Bernabei, Tina Biasella, Dr. Sabrina Shilad, Emil Alacusin, Dr. Eric O'Lear, and Tony Snyder. Let's give them a round of applause before they do any work. All right, so my job is to do a countdown now. But we want to make sure, are the photographers all ready? All right, I know that's an important part, the VIP. All right, you are going to start with, I'll start counting down from 5 so that you can get all ramped up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cut. Oh, round of applause. Super. That's great. And I'm going to give you some tour instructions about what we do next as we leave the tent and follow the group through the main doors, and then I'll close. Rick Haines was on your agenda as closing, and he said, Mike, just go ahead and handle it. I'm over there at the door. I said, I'll be just fine. So here are a couple of tour instructions, and in your booklets, be ready for those as well as you go in. Masks are required to enter the facility, so for your convenience, staff members will distribute them at the back of the tent or as you approach the building, wherever you are that's most convenient for you, but you will need a mask to enter. To assist you with your self-guided tour, there's a tour program. They'll hand that to you as you enter the building. So then you'll guide yourself through the building, and there'll be specific areas that are staffed by staff members, if you will, or employees and colleagues who will share more about the center and answer questions in that area. So as you move about, you'll have supporters at each stop along the way. Along with your tour program, you'll receive an inspiring piece of art that was created by one of our chaplains, Jamie Gump. Jamie, would you please stand? Jamie, back over our shoulder and take a peek. Jamie, wonderful. Let's give him a round of applause for the great piece that you'll all get to keep. And the piece is called Rising Hopes, the Nature of Healing. And hope and healing are two great words side by side. We hope you enjoy it, and it's certainly a great keepsake. And then, probably the best part of the whole tour, there's a flavor of what our patients and visitors will experience. We heard Jane talk about the coffee shop. We have a little bit more than coffee. Got some smoothies, cookies, and some other snacks, too. So you're going to get a chance to have the full experience as you move through the day. So as I wrap it up, let's give another round of applause to all who took care of us this morning. Lisa and your team, we give you a shout out. And I'll wrap us up with this thought as we move you toward the door. You heard about phrases hope and dream and just the idea of vision and purpose. And so let's wrap it up and just remember from that soulful spot, hope is the dream of a soul awake. Hope is the dream of a soul awake. And we've wrapped the opportunity for souls to be awakened through the challenges that they'll experience coming through those doors. Let's energize it with our presence today and bless it in such a great way that we can talk about it out into this community. Thank you all very much for being a part of the ceremony this morning. Enjoy your tour. That concludes our tent program. Now you can move on to the doors. Thanks, everybody.